Well, let's see. 3 times the charm. I feel like my cousin Vinny. No, 7 times the charm. Oh, good morning, Teaser King family. I got interneted on the first one. I tried a second one and it immediately interneted me. So I know that I'm fucked. Let's see if we can do something here. All right, so I'm going to restart it and I'll just delete that first one. I apologize, but it's out of my hands. Like yesterday, I the whole weekend I didn't have any problems. So I don't know where it comes from. I think it's a YouTube thing. Could be a memory issue if I open up too many tabs. So I closed a few tabs and hopefully that will work. Anyway, let's start with our gold and silver, and I will cut to the chase a little bit quicker to catch back up. Fortunately, I only did 20 minutes and I'll usually go 2 hours. So if I was an hour into it, I wouldn't do this. All right, where are we at? So again, as I've been explaining, this is paper gold and silver, not physical. So 40.77, it was 40.83 when we tried last time. The 10 o'clock drop and 59.42 for that. It's a Ponzi scheme. We're talking a lot about Madoff and the whole thing. And the key is people need to understand what they're doing. I'm watching these videos on a guy lost all his money betting on sports. And my comment was, why didn't he? If he would have come here, he wouldn't have lost any of his money. I don't lose people money. I make them money. The only time you lose is if you don't understand what I'm telling you to do and you don't ask me. So I had a guy say, oh, I lost a lot on this one game. And I said, why'd you bet so much on it? And it wasn't even the lock. So if you're going to lose a lot of money, lose it on my lock. But you shouldn't be betting over what your bankroll will allow it. So if your bankroll says bet $200, $300 on a game and you lose it, it shouldn't be a big deal. Well, I have the bankroll and that's part of how I bet it. And if I bet 10 of your game, I'm going to win 8, 70, 75%. So one game shouldn't hurt me. And then when you do win, I expect to hear, oh, you made me a lot of money here. Not I cost you on one game, but you don't want to bring up that you won on the lock and you won on these other games. So I don't like people like that who are very unprofessional, very immature, not understanding what they're doing. I don't want you to listen to me blindly. I want you to understand what I'm doing so you understand what you're doing. So that's why you make a bankroll and you money manage it. You go, I'm going to play $200 on his higher unit games, and I'm going to play $50 on his lower unit games. And as we go, I'll raise it. And if one, and do I actually think that he's going to go 100%? I don't say that. I say maybe 70, 75. That's about what I do. And I've explained how I do it. But don't be under the misconception I'm going to pick a winner every time. Only Madoff can do that because he never actually bet. So when you get into stocks and Madoff and things like that, you should understand what you're doing. And so when this guy lost all his money sports betting, he didn't understand what he was doing. And it sounds like what he did is he started losing and then he raised his bets to get back to even and started losing more and more and more. He didn't understand what he was doing. There's that movie, The Gambler, with James Caan. He did the same thing. He's up, then he gets down, then he starts chasing. And he bets 40 grand on a basketball games. And I don't know why. He didn't know basketball. I thought that was the perfect movie to show you what not to do. Probably the worst gambler I've ever seen. he loses this money in a backroom casino. He loses 44 grand. And then he begs his mother for the money. The mother gives him 45. So instead of paying the debt, he goes to Vegas with it. And he gets really hot, but he doesn't understand streaks. So he hits 13 passes in a row at craps. Why did you stop? You go until you 7 out. Then he goes to backrack, or he goes to roulette, and he hits his number and wins 12 grand. And he walks away. Where are you going? Play it again. And then he goes to backrack and he wins 4 hands in a row. And he gets up and leaves. What are you doing? And then he goes and plays. So he has to give the guy 45,000. So then he has 45,000 left. So go pay off your debt and off you go. No. He then tries to. Now he's betting when he's not on a streak. He just lost 3 basketball games. He bets and loses another 50 grand. So now he's got no more money. And why would you bet all this money on this one basketball game? Because he wants to get even. So now he's gambling to get even instead of gambling for purpose. And that's what I teach you is you take my lines. I give you an 8 unit, a 10, a 15, whatever I give you, and you play it small and you just try to win and we keep going. But I get hot all the time. I show you in baseball. Have you seen me go 0-8 in baseball since May? No, never. I go through the results every day. Yesterday I was 3-2. I was 7-3 the day before, 6-2, 5-2, 4-1. I don't go 0-8. I don't ever go 0-8, but I don't want to say it because now I'll go 0-8 tonight. But I don't go 0-8 because I have the perfect. I don't want to call it a system, but I have the perfect analysis of how to pick it. So I've played around until I come up with the goose that lays the golden egg. I tell you to stay out of stocks because they're fixed. I tell you to stay out of ETFs because they're fixed. I know this. I'm telling you this because people are going to, I want to own gold, so I'm going to own an ETF. No, you want to own gold? Go buy gold. Buy physical. Oh, it's expensive. Well, when it goes to 10,000 and you own it, guess what? You keep the whole 10. If you're in an ETF, guess what? You don't own shit. It's not like the ETF's going to go up to 10 grand. They steal all the management fees and you'll never get physical gold. And if you get paid in dollars, it doesn't matter because the dollar is worthless. So at what point are you good not being in gold? This is what I try to explain to you is how not to fall into these situations. You really need to understand poker. You need to understand if you're going to play craps or blackjack. You really need to understand if you're going to play the stock market. Not only do you need to know why you're getting into it, but you need to know to get out of it. And then you need to profit take. And then you need to buy gold with the profit you got. Gold stocks are very short term. You buy Amazon at 100 and it goes to 130 and you say, thank you, goodbye. But before you even buy it, you look at the value of the company and you read the financials and you go, oh, cash flow from operations is this. The earnings, it's all like the PE ratio, price over earnings. Should be about 20. If it's more than that, you don't want to buy it. So let's say it's 15. So the price is maybe 50 and the earnings is maybe 5. So it's about a 20 or something, or it's a 10. And that's fine because you're expecting earnings unless you know that the earnings aren't going to be there. Like in Tesla, they'll never be there. Or the SkyX, those are just scams. So then when the stock price goes up and the PE now is 50, you get the fuck out. Because in a real market, the PE at 2025 that's about it. Because they'll never have earnings that will grow that fast, especially like a company like an Amazon or a Apple or those. They're way overvalued. But you got to understand that. You got to understand why you bought it, at what point, at what price do you need to get out, and understand it's manipulated by the JP Morgans. They manipulate it. They get in, then you get in, and then they sell and they dump and you're fucked. And that happens all the time. 1929, it happened in 1987, it happened in 2008. It will always happen because you're not the first one in, you're the last one in, and you're not the first one out, you're the last one out, unless you see it go from 100 to 110. And before JP Morgan dumps, you dump. It's the only way you can possibly do it. So this is not long term. You might play Coca-Cola long term for the dividend. That's about it. But if you're going to do that, just buy gold and silver and just kick back and wait to, wait for it. The critical thing is when you're going to play this is why you must understand the game. You must understand your point. When am I getting in? When am I getting out? Some people wait till it drops and then they buy the dips. But why did it drop? You have to understand all this. You have to understand, why did it drop? And if it dropped just because, then okay, nothing's changed. I remember I was at Hiram Walker Canadian Club, and my bosses and I was good at analyzing, so I was good at stocks, and I just got through my master's. So I'm sitting on a phone call with the VP of finance, my boss's boss, on I think it was an Intel conference call. And the guy talks and talks and talks. And she says, "What do you think?" I says, "Nothing changed. It's a buy because whatever was going on, whatever he said, wasn't going to affect the supply demand ratio. And, would you buy it or not?" So there was no bad news. So she bought it and she made money. And she said, "The president bought because of your word." And I felt like, oh my God, I hope I'm okay. But no, I did well. But that was the key. Most people get involved and don't know why. They have no clue, and they want to make money, which I understand. We all want to make money because money is the key to freedom, and that's what we want. We do not want communism. These people who want communism are out of their fucking minds. Well, we won't have money and you won't have product because nobody's gonna just plant corn for you, fellas. So anyway, that's kind of it. So we now come to the conclusion that the lock is gold and silver only if you buy it physical. It's not being priced right, which we understand. And the dollar is being printed to shit, so it's not worth anything. So why be in something worth nothing and when we can be in something worth a lot? Oh, the dollar, that's never going away. Well, yeah, they're in 18 wars and they're printing money like hotcakes. It loses its value. You can't print it forever. It will go. Nobody will want it. At the end of the day, nobody will want it. And guess what? Nobody wants it. All the BRICS countries are buying gold, and all the central banks are dumping the bonds and buying gold with it. Nobody wants the dollar. Since we don't make anything, it's not like we're going to sell them tennis shoes and they're going to buy it or stop by it. So anything manufacturing wise, everybody's doing it. Clothes wise, what do we sell here? I don't know. We used to sell oil. That would be one thing, but now, no, Middle East. So I don't know. This is the problem that you have is you have to understand, what am I doing and why? You go and you want to marry a girl. Why? She's pretty. Well, there's got to be more to it than she's pretty. How does she, is she nice? Is she good to me, or is she a bitch? And so it's a lot more than looks, but that's kind of a correlation. People buy the stock because it's going up. People date this girl because she's pretty. But if she's a bitch or she just wants your money, probably not what you want. I mean, Carmen was very pretty, but all she wanted was my money. And she said, "Oh, I'll marry you and I can get a green card." And I go, "Fuck off." I said to her, "I'm not going to jail for you," because that's what would have happened. It wouldn't have been a real marriage. She'd have gotten the green card. She'd have probably left. And all you want is my money, Carmen. So I told her to fuck off. She was very pretty, but that didn't matter. It's not about the looks. So anyway, it's all the same. It's what are you doing and what are your why are you doing it? And then in investing, it's when you get out, you buy it, you're expecting it to go up, but what if it goes down? Oh, fuck. Why did you buy it? Well, I think it's going to go up because these idiots on CNBC told me, who's that Kramer guy, Cosmo Kramer. Oh yeah, he knows every stock. I've never seen anybody that can memorize 1,000 stocks and give. And nobody says, "Is it real?" Does he know what he's talking about? No, but he looks like he does. And again, that's the problem. Now I get we all want to make money, and that's why you buy my football, and that's why we talk gold. You'll make a lot of money. As I say, my goal is to make you money if you'll just listen to me. But that I can't force you to listen to me, but I hope you do. I got a lot of people who have been buying my football for many years, so I think that kind of proves it. Go to my homepage, and I have a lot of good, positive comments there. But anyway, so again, we're buying. We want to, at the end of the day, we want to transfer our money into gold. That's the name of the game. If we happen to get a Mantle card, we can either, if we don't sell it and we hold it, it's still going to be worth something in gold. So that's okay. We don't have to sell all our assets and put it into gold. We can keep some of our assets that we like. Nick's got a Rolex, doesn't have to sell it. He can keep it, but it'll lose value in dollars because the dollar has no value, but he'll make a lot in gold. So he'll be able to sell it for a quarter ounce of gold, which will be worth 20, 30,000. Anyway, so that's what we'll start with. Questions or comments, please feel free. The baseball, I was talking about the baseball trade deadline. And I was talking specifically about the Scooble trade. So let's go back through that. The Scooble trade. Yes. What is the GM doing? So you have, I'll use the same example. You have a $100,000 Mercedes, or you have this car. Let's do this. So I have this Mantle card. It's a mint card. It's a little off center, but I might not get dinged because it's a 1962 or 63, and therefore, if it's a little off center, you can still get a 10. They have little different grades from the brand new cards that come out are perfectly centered to these older cards that had centering issues. So let's say I get a $20,000 value on this card. Comes back PSA 9, very limited. It's Mantle. I get $25,000. It's also got Maris and K-Line and cash. Now it's worth $25,000. Now a little bit of the difference is I don't have to sell it at the end of the year, right? So the difference with Scooble is you're giving him 30 million, but at the end of the year, supposedly, I guess he can go free agent, and then apparently he can sign with another team, and I'll get fucked where I won't get anything. Would be like me at the end of the year, this card goes away. I'm fucked. What do I do? So I try to sell it for what I can before I lose the card. And it's kind of similar to what's going on with Scooble. If they don't trade them, they don't get anything at the end of the year. However, in free markets, as we teach, if this is worth 25,000, I want 25,000 in return. I want to get 6 ounces of gold, which is 4,000 now, which I know is worth a lot more. I'd want to get 25,000 in cash, or a Rolex, or a car, something worth 25 grand. I want for the Mantle card. That's a free trade, and that's a fair trade. Here's 25. There's 25. Especially if it's graded mint 9. Nobody can bitch. It's already graded. It's already a 9, and therefore I look at it going, okay. I'd rather have the money than the card. That would be why I would sell it. Now, there might be a point where I have to sell it, and therefore I might have to take 20. You hope you don't get into that issue. On the other hand, so the Tigers, what they did is they sold the Mantle card for 3 minor league cards that have no value. No value. Two of the pitchers have Tommy John surgery, and the outfielder is not in the major leagues, so he's not that good. Oh, he'll be good. Maybe he'll be good. Well, why would I trade my Mantle card? If I was going to really trade, I'd want a Mays card, or want a Johnny Bench rookie, or I'd want a Nolan Ryan rookie, or I don't want three minor league guys in 2026 who might be good, because the odds of them being good are like zero. So there's two things going on here. One, you want a fair trade. So if I'm trading Schoolball, I want Scanes back for him. If I'm trading School, I want Burns back for him. I want Schittler back for him. That would be a fair trade for me. Now, the question is, why aren't you signing him? Well, he's got Scott Boros as his agent, and he wants to go free agent. Well, I don't care. Here's an offer, Scooble. And that's what we want. Why would they pitch Scooble on Tuesday if he's traded to the Dodgers? What if he got hurt in the game? There goes your trade. So it was really stupid they pitched him. Unless the Dodgers said, we'll trade for him if he pitches Tuesday, so we can see he's recovered from his injury, which is what it looked like. But then you see these other trades. Robbie Ray, who's been very good for the Niners, goes to the Chargers. You got Soriano, who was good for California, went to somewhere. Boston picked up a starting catcher. Why are we not getting players? Well, he's a 2-month rental. Well, then why would we trade him now? Why did we trade him last year at the end of the season? Then he'd be a full year rental. Then you'd get a lot more for him. So this is your excuse. He's a 2-month rental. Why is he a 2-month rental? Why aren't you paying the guy? Well, we got two minor leaguers with Tommy John surgery. Well, the odds of them being as good as Scooble are zero. You already have Scooble. You already had Casey Mize. You already had the two aces you needed to be competitive. You needed bullpen help and you needed hitting help. And yet, what did you get? You got two minor league starters, which you probably didn't need, and an outfielder who, another left-handed bat who will probably hit about 220 and get a lot of walks and say, well, it's my OPS, not really my batting average. Because if he was really good, he'd be in the major leagues now. So this is the problem between a good GM and a bad GM. The Tigers have a terrible GM. If he knew he couldn't sign him and he knew he was going to lose him at the end of the year, he had to trade him last year, maybe after the year's over. Although Scooble hurt himself in that Seattle game running out after 5 innings. Now he looks like a crybaby, a loser. He's not a winner. Mizrowski would have pitched that whole game. So would Scanes. They wouldn't have come out. No fucking way. Jack Morris never would have come out. So this is the problem. These guys would never have come out. They're men. They're winners. And you got Scooble, who's a crybaby, takes his ball and runs home. And this is the problem. Just 1 second. Who's ringing my bell? Oh, it's election day. I am not a voter, and I'm not a Democrat. So go fuck off. Who am I voting for? I love these other ones on excuse me. You go on these YouTube ones and they're like, well, do you have gold or silver and where are you from? I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm telling you that. That's private, buddy. Oh, wait, this guy on YouTube says he has gold. Now we can go after him. No fucking way would I trust that. So anyway, why would you not want a major league pitcher for Skubal? Why do we keep same thing we did with Verlander and we did with Scherzer and we did with JD Martinez and some of the big guns we had a few years ago? We got nothing for any of them. We got a bag of balls and pop. That's what we got. So why do I want to trade Skubal? Do I not think he has value? He's a fucking two-time Cy Young Award. We might not like him because he's a crybaby, but to the other teams, he's a two-time Cy Young Award winner. Personally, I would have started a bidding war between Milwaukee and Atlanta and the Dodgers. I never would have given him to the Dodgers. I would have wanted the Yankees involved. Yankees have Max Fried and Steve Schiller, so they have pretty good starting. So add Skubal to that, they can beat the Dodgers. Why would you give them to the Dodgers? Because now the Dodgers, it's not that the Dodgers wanted them, it's now Milwaukee doesn't have them, and the Yankees don't have them, and Atlanta doesn't have them. So that's more why the Dodgers picked him up. I assume they know he's a crybaby. So why would, nobody wants a crybaby. So that's what we have. And so you gave him away for nothing. So now let's follow the dots. Why? Because the owner of the Tigers, Ilitch Jr., is only in it for the money because his dad had died. So now he's got the team. He doesn't know anything about the team. He looks at it as money, not just strictly as a business. He's not trying to win. He's just trying to make money. So what does he do? He goes to his roster. Well, Skubal makes $30 million. He wants $40 million. I'm not paying that. He doesn't pay anybody. And then Joe Flaherty pays some money to, I don't know why. And then Happy Baez, he pays $20 million to, which I don't know why. He kind of got that. Then he fired the GM for doing that. And now if you notice the roster, nobody makes $1 million. He gave McGonigal a little bit and this Happy Baez guy. And so what he'll do is when Dingler wants to renegotiate or Mechanical or Ricky Green, he'll trade him because he won't pay $10 million for the players. Like I said, some of these pitchers he gets, they all suck. They're all injured on the free agent market. So the GM's terrible at that, but the owner doesn't want to pay because he's going to make his money regardless. And, he's not in it to win. He doesn't care if they win or not. If you have Skubal and Mize, why would you get rid of them? Because they're going to cost me money. Wasn't Skubal worth it? Two-time champ. I would not have paid him $10 million. I would have paid him $25 million plus incentives for 5 years. That's the most I would have paid. And if the agent said no, I'd say, well, then he's going to go work at Kroger's because I'm not trading him. Now, again, it's baseball, and you have this free agent bullshit. So you have a problem where you lose your asset. So it'd be like I have my card, and if I don't sell it by the end of the year, it's free to go to any, there's an auction on eBay. Whoever wants it gets it. So I don't really get baseball. Why you would this free agent shit. In other words, if I lose Scooble, I got to get compensated. If he's worth $100,000 for my Mercedes, or let's stick with my Mantle card. So if I do lose my Mantle card, it's worth 25 grand. I get compensated 25 grand for losing it. So he goes free agent. Well, he's not allowed. He's my asset. It's up to me. So Scooble should not be able to just not sign. But there has to be a case in point where you get something back. So if the Tigers are that stupid and don't understand the game, they needed to sell him when he had value. They needed to sell him at the end of last year and set up, okay, this year, so a team will have him for the full year. And now you can get more. Oh, you want him? So the Dodgers wanted him. Why did they bend over and take it in the ass and say, well, yeah, I'll take three minor leaguers, two pitchers that are injured, and a hitter who is in minor leagues. Why aren't you getting any replace? Why aren't you getting good players? And this is definitely the problem that the management of the Tigers have, and they end up getting nothing for him because they don't understand. Well, if he's only a 2-month rental, so the Dodgers, let's say they don't sign him, have him for August, September. Well, they're winning the World Series without him. All they did was prevent Milwaukee from beating him because Milwaukee's a better team, or the Phillies from getting him. Not necessarily maybe the Yankees, but that's the point. And the Tigers should have gotten a lot more for him. At least some starters. And then if the problem is you waited too long, then why did they wait too long? Did they not realize this is how the game works? Again, it's like stocks, and it's like what I teach you in investment or how to bet football. You must understand the game. You must understand the rules of the game and when do you get in and out and why do you bet and take your profit and everything. So if we're playing poker, you must understand how to play poker. You must understand the other people. You must understand the betting strategy. And when you're up, you must take your profit and run. And you must understand all that. Well, it sounds like the Tigers don't understand what they're doing. Well, you don't get rid of Scooble and Casey Mize at the trade deadline. You get rid of them before the season starts, where you'll get a lot more for them. Now, I assume other teams have this issue, but I see Soriano got traded. I see Boston picked up a starting catcher. How come they didn't take minor league prospects? And minor league prospects are just the owner's way of saying, it's cheap. I'll get the prospects. They probably won't develop, but I'll make it look like I'm doing something. So, and I don't have to pay them because they're minor leaguers. So I give them a couple $100,000 instead of 30 million, and I keep the money. And that's what he did. That's what Illich basically did. He waited. He then got these guys the 2-month rental. So he got minor leaguers and he doesn't have to pay them. And that's really the bottom line of what happened. He didn't want to pay Scooble. Well, he knew that last year. And he knew after that Seattle game that Scooble was a loser. So get rid of him then. Or get rid of him before. I mean, you knew the value if he's a 2-month rental. So if knowing this, so either they're not really idiots, knowing this, they know, oh, good, I'll get cheap players. And if you look at their lineup, except for Happy Baez, they're cheap players. None of them make $1 million. And none of them are any good. The McGonigal is a mistake. And Dylan Dingler's a Buckeye. So, okay, that makes sense. But he's under a beginning contract, so he probably doesn't even make $1 million. McGonigal made the mistake of settling on $1.5 million a year. He's a good player, I guess. We'll see. And Dylan Dingler should be sitting out right now. But you make $300,000-$400,000, and he's a good player and he's a valuable catcher. If I was him, I'd be sitting out. You want me? I want $5 million a year. or go fuck off. That's what he should be doing because he's very valuable. And obviously, other teams would take Boston would have taken him. Why didn't the Tigers trade him to Boston and get Louis Tiant and Ranger Suarez back for him? So again, not understanding. And then their other trade, Casey Mize, they got nothing. I don't even know. They got some more minor leaguers. So the Tigers keep adding minor leaguers, and they keep saying, well, let's give them time to develop. So since Justin Verlander, they've been getting minor leaguers and saying, let them develop. 10 years later, they're still developing. They still stunk. The roster they put out is a bunch of minor leaguers. They don't have a professional on their team. Dingler and McGonigal are close. That's it. Ricky Green is a terrible clutch hitter, and he runs into the center fielder and cripples the guy. He doesn't even know that the center fielder owns the outfield and calls him off. He either doesn't listen or did it on purpose. Either way, he's not a professional. He's a minor leaguer. The rest of the team stinks. They can't. There's no clutch hitting. Yeah, they win 11-0. Yeah, well, you're up 7-0. Then the guy hits the solo homer, and you go, "Oh, he's so good. He hit a homer off of a minor league off of a high school pitcher. Gee, isn't he good?" And that's what you end up getting. So you got to be very careful with that. So you got to read between the lines what's going on. So obviously the Tigers knew exactly what they were doing, wanted to get minor leaguers back, and wanted to, and they're just very cheap team. They avoided the Scooble $40 million. They avoided Casey Mize $20 million. And that's it. So they bring in a bunch of minor leaguers and pay them minor leaguers. And these idiots that go to the games, they cry on the phone. Oh, the Tigers suck. The Tigers don't want to win. Neither do the Red Wings. These people don't get it. They don't want to pay for these players. It's an expense. The Lions do it all the time, where they never re-up. This is the first time in my life that they've actually paid, okay, we'll pay the tackle again. We'll pay the injured defensive end. We'll pay the running back. They didn't pay the running back yet. Why they're paying Jared Goff that money, they've got to be nuts. He's a minor leaguer. But they finally re-upped because it costs them more. They won't do that again. And then, so you see that with both of the Illich teams. They don't want expensive players. They don't even have TV deals. And you can't watch the Tigers on, TV, a real TV station, or the Red Wings. So there's no TV revenue coming in. These teams are a bunch of idiots. If nobody watches your team because you're not on real TV, you're not going to get any fans, and you're not going to get support, and you're not going to get a lot of TV revenue. So I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, let's walk through that a little bit, and then we'll do our baseball. All right, so let's go through these trades. Trade deadline recap. The Phillies made some moves, acquiring Luis Arias, I never heard of him, from the Giants, and lefty Brooks Raley, never heard of him, from the Mets. Then the Red Sox and Orioles sent shockwaves through the sport with a deal to send franchise catcher Adley Rutschman to Boston. So why didn't the Tigers get a franchise player? Why didn't they send Skubal to Baltimore to get the catcher? Right. So there are regular deals. I behold, the ladies' delight in his picks are right. Hail teaser. Thank you, Behold. Hope you're well. So let's see what other deals. Tarek Skubal went for 3 minor leaguers. River Ryan, I never heard of him. Let's see, probably Nolan Ryan's grandson or something. The Phillies made, see, and that was Saturday, and yet the deadline was yesterday. Why did they? It was like they were bluffed out. They took the only deal they got. The Phillies acquired Arias. Okay, I went through that. The Red Sox, Boston gets the big catcher. Maybe they needed him. Elsewhere, the Yankees acquired Heliot Ramos. The Padres traded for Casey Mize, and the Astros landed Dalton Varsho. Well, the only guy I've heard of was Casey Mize. The Yankees acquired Heliot Ramos. The Mets and Blue Jays, two of the biggest disappointments of the season, were active early. New York sent Freddie Peralta, who sucks, to the Rays for a trio of prospects. So the Mets are doing the same bullshit. The Mets reportedly traded Luke Weaver to the Pirates. I don't know who that is. On the other side of town, the Yankees acquired slugging Washington Nationals infielder Luis Garcia for a package of pitchers. So Washington needed pitchers. They have this slugger Luis Garcia, and they, why didn't they make that trade? Toronto traded Kevin Gausman to the Cubs, then acquired Jose Soriano, who's pretty good, from California. So wait a minute, why didn't we trade Skubal to the Cubs or Casey Mize? Or why didn't we acquire Jose Soriano? The Cubs also acquired Clay Holmes from the Mets to bolster their rotation. So the Cubs needed pitching. They would have taken Skubal. Padres gave up top pitching prospect to acquire Casey Mize. Something doesn't add up there. If I have this top prospect, why would I trade for Casey Mize, whose contract's coming up, unless they're not going to sign him? The Padres reportedly gave up their top pitching prospect to acquire Casey Mize for their playoff run. In return for Mize, the Tigers will receive a 27-year-old minor league pitcher, who I'm sure must be good because he's 27 and still in the minor leagues, Jackson Wolf, and left-handed prospect Cash Mayfield, the number 2 prospect in the San Diego system, according to the pipeline. Well, that doesn't mean anything. That's like when they're the Wolverines got Underwear. He was a 5-star, number 1 rated quarterback, and he sucks. So Cash Mayfield is a left-handed prospect and supposedly number 2 in the San Diego system, not number 2. But even that doesn't matter. What are the number one problem? Who cares what a prospect is? He's a minor leaguer. Mize is playing a 1-year, $6 million. See, here's the Tigers. They're paying this guy $6 million. No wonder he's leaving. This guy is good. He should be getting $20 million. They're paying him $6 million. Well, he's making too much. Let's get rid of him. Skubal wants 40, 50. No, too much. Let's get rid of him. We don't want to pay our players. And he'll be a free agent in the offseason. So he's going to wait around to get 25, 30 million. The Padres are betting a top prospect that Mize can help push them from one game out of the NL wild card as of Monday into the postseason and beyond, with no guarantee Mize will return next season. Again, why didn't you trade Mize earlier? The Padres acquire Casey Mize and INF, I guess, infielder Workman, I never heard of, from the Tigers for Cash Mayfield, the Padres' number 2 prospect per Major League Baseball pipeline, whatever that means. And left-handed pitcher Jackson Wolf. Well, what's his grade? Number 2,000? One more. Caleb Ferguson to the Cardinals. Just when you thought the trade deadline was over, there's always one more deal. It's the Reds sending reliever Caleb Ferguson to the Cardinals for international bonus space. What the fuck does that mean? So here the Tigers get rid of their best 2 pitchers. Did they want to win? Well, I guess not. But the ironic part is with them, they sucked. So what are you doing, guys? Well, we're going to save money. We're only paying Casey Mize $6 million, so we won't pay him 25, 30. And Scuba wants 40 or 50. We're not going to pay him. That's what they're doing. And these teams get Scuba for 2 months. This whole thing makes no sense. Wait a minute, you just acquired him. Well, just for 2 months, but he's not under contract, so we'll let him go, and then he can go free agent. Yeah, terrible Scuba deal. I think so too, Behold. I think it's this. Again, it's the problem is the deadline. In other words, at the end of the year, he doesn't have a contract. So for some reason, he's allowed to get a contract with anybody that wants to pay him, which is bullshit. Like I say, if this is my Mantle card at the end of the year, this is still, I want proper Mantle card. And if it's worth 25 grand, I'm worth. They're not getting proper value for Scuba. Oh my God, am I getting another internet? Hopefully I'm okay. Am I okay or am I circling? Am I all right? Am I okay or am I circling? All right, I guess I'm all right. If I get the short one, it's okay. But if it lasts for like a minute, I'm fucked. So, yeah, I mean, they get no value for it. But in the Tigers' eyes, they don't have to pay him. That's what this is all about. The Tigers not paying him. And they did not get any value in return, neither for the Mize or that. To get minor league players, well, there's a reason they're in the minor leagues. He's a good prospect. A prospect is not an ace. You've given your ace and your second pitcher for maybe the prospect will actually become a major league player. Why would you take that risk? That'd be like me. I'm gonna trade my Mantle card for an okie dokie. He's a number 1 prospect who maybe will actually make the majors one day. And then I get fucked, right? Because he won't turn into anything because he's not Mickey Mantle. Well, whoever you got is not going to be Scooble. He's not going to be a Cy Young winner. Well, I doubt Scooble's that good, but that was just because there was no competition. But he's not Mizorowski and he's not Scanes, Scooble. So don't go there. I'm not sure he's the top 2 pitcher on the Dodgers. I don't like Shotani, but Yamazuzu, one of the Mr. Fuji guys, is a pretty good pitcher, and he actually goes 9 innings, unlike Scooble, who can only go 5. Signing Frammer makes less sense now. Signing Frammer made no sense from the beginning. Did they sign Frammer? I'd have let him go, and Joe Flaherty I'd let go. You got all these minor leaguers who are going to be cheap for you next year. Let's give them a chance. I love hearing that. Let's give them a chance and see what they can do. Well, whoever has these players see what they can do and they realize they suck. That's what they can do. They can't do anything. Yeah, but let's see what they can do here. Yeah, they're not going to do crap. So you can't sell any of these. I mean, what are you doing? I guess my point is I have my ace and my second pitcher and Mize and Scooble. Why would I get rid of them? Now I got to go replace them. How am I going to do that? I'm going to get some minor leaguers that maybe will be as good as the two players that I have already, especially Mize. He's young. And Scooble. It just shows you the owner doesn't want to pay. That's clear and simple. Why would you let Mize go? So now this rebuilding crap, because we keep getting prospects. So we're always rebuilding since Verlander. When we finally get somebody that actually is good, because Scooble had 2 arm injuries, he had 2 surgeries before, and so we thought he was a nothing. We got him cheap, and then he turned into something. But now he wants to get paid, and they don't want to pay. That's why they got him. They didn't have to pay him. So you're paying Mize $6 million in Major League Baseball. Okay, so you finally get the players, and then you let them go. So what's the point of the rebuild? Well, if any of these guys actually become good, then we're going to let them walk. So what is the point of this? The point is this is the owner making money, not having to pay his players. That's the point. You want to support that team? Be my guest. This is why I'm not a Lions fan and I'm not a Tigers fan. They're a bunch of losers. They don't care about winning, so why should I care about them? I'd rather root for the Niners. This year, I'll root for the Rams. I'll root for Denver, Kansas City. I'll root for Mahomes. Somebody came on yesterday and said Mahomes wasn't any good anymore. Clearly did not understand football. Mahomes is great because he's done it in the Super Bowl. He was down 10. He wins. He's a winner. You don't blame him for the lack of receivers and the fact that Travis Kelce sucks now. He's too old and he can't catch. All I can point to is that Philadelphia game when Mahomes hit him right in the hands at the 2-yard line and he didn't catch it and the ball popped in the air and was intercepted. That isn't Mahomes' fault. That's Kelce's fault. So I don't buy that. And with Kenneth Walker, I love Kansas City this year because they have the key variable. They have the balanced offense. They haven't had that in a while. They've had some runners, but they haven't really had. Now you've got Kenneth Walker, the best running back with the best quarterback. We got to get rid of Kelce and that stupid girl he hangs around with. And I saw she was at the Knicks championship. So she runs around whoever's the champ and screws them. And then so that's what we have. And so you really got to understand it. So what does Pittsburgh do with Scanes? Are they going to, what did Milwaukee do with Mizorowski? Why didn't we trade Scooble for Mizorowski? What do you want from Mizorowski? We'll give you Scanes. We'll give you Mize. We'll give you this. We'll give you Dingle. And well, anybody else you want. Baseballs will fill your pop machine. What do you want from Mizorowski? I'm not sure Milwaukee wouldn't have done that trade. Give me Scooble and Mize, and we'll pay their salaries, and we'll get Mizorowski. That's a pretty fair trade, actually. But Milwaukee would never want Scooble because he's a loser. You saw Mizorowski. I showed you. He's fighting. He doesn't want to come out in the 7th inning. Zach Wheeler didn't want to come out in the 5th inning because he had gone 5 innings, like 250 starts in a row or something like that. And here's Scooble. Yeah, it's 5 innings. I gotta go take a nap. What a loser. All right. Let's go look at baseball. So again, it's a real the Tigers just fuck their fans and then they make believe they're prospects and they'll develop. You had the best pitcher, the Cy Young Award winner, and you traded him for a minor leaguer. You didn't even get a major leaguer for him. What? And you want us to believe? So we're going to wait. What? Maybe this guy who's in the minor leagues who had Tommy John surgery will be as good as Scooble. Oh yeah, you smoking? You doing heavy drugs, huh? All right, let's look at yesterday. We got Philly 6, Washington 3. We didn't play it. It was NOLA, but we didn't know who was going for Washington. St. Louis 13, the Yankees 7. We did give Steve Schittler. And let's look at what the fuck happened in this game against McGreevy. McGreevy only went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs. So we think we're in good shape. And then 4 bullpen guys come in. And the Yankees, Steve Schittler goes 3 innings, 83 pitches in 3 innings, gives up 4 hits and 4 runs. I'm sorry. He's not on yesterday. Do we let him go 6 innings, 7 innings? We don't care about pitch count. He's got a 2.2 ERA. What? He's got 5 walks and 4 hits, 4 runs, and 5 walks. So he's off. All right. So I don't mind him getting out in the 3rd inning. Was this game fixed? Schittler doesn't walk 5 guys in 3 innings. Doesn't walk 5 guys in 9 innings. 4 hits. Most of the time, he doesn't give up 4 hits or 4 runs. Very frustrating. A guy with a 2.26 ERA at home against a weak hitting Cardinal team, and he gives up 4 runs in 3 innings. And then we got Chevalier with the 3.78 ERA in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. In the 8th inning, 5 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs. Why is he pitching? Why is he on the team? So, again, I'm surprised this T. Hill came in. The Yankees have a great bullpen, a lot of 1s and 2s on them. Here's a 4.50, and he gives up 2 runs on a 2-run homer. Schittler did give up a home run. Anyway, so what are you going to do? That's how you bet. You bet Schittler against McGreevy. The game wasn't an under. We played the Yankees. We didn't play it under. I never thought that the total was 8. They scored 20. It's just one of those days, one of those shutout 1, 2, 3, 7, 2, 1, 7. So I would bet Schittler in the next start, he'll be pretty pissed off. You won't see 7 walks from him the rest of the year. All right, so we lose. All right, but it was a good reason to bet it with Schittler. Then we got Pitt 4, Milwaukee 3. We go Pitt over 8, as we've been a little too prone to do. Well, let's take Pitt over. And they get 7. They do win, but they were playing Milwaukee, which I thought both teams would hit the shit out of the ball. So I'm surprised 4-3. The 49ers in Texas, the 49ers win 5-1. We didn't play it. The Cubs 10 and the Dodgers 5. We have the Cubs over 8. Hard to play the Cubs over the Dodgers, but we can do it with totals. So again, a 10-5 game. Wrigley must not have been win. The total was 7.5. Maybe they were supposed to be win. I don't know. Anyway, we're over 8. Toronto 3, Houston 1. Again, we have Houston the other day because Jack Lambert's going. We don't have Houston yesterday because we don't know the pitchers. Tampa Bay 13, Colorado 9. We played Colorado over 11. And both pitchers sucked, and that was a 22. So we doubled the 11. And our last game was Arizona 5-1 over San Diego. It's just purely the pitching, and they win. So we go 3-2. Everything was 2 units. The Yankees were 3. So we win 6, we lose 5. So it's a +1. See, and that's my bad day, right? My bad day is 3-2 for 1 unit. All right, let's take a look at August 4th. It's already August 4th. Football is going to be here in 5 seconds. Thank God. We need a real sport. And that's what I like about football. You don't see Mahomes getting traded for garbage cans or Bo Nix or Josh Allen. You don't see him like leave like in baseball. I don't understand. Casey would never trade Mahomes for a bucket of golf balls. What is that? Or minor leaguers. Yeah, we'll trade Mahomes for these. The guy on Notre Dame, CJ Carr. Well, maybe he'll develop. The difference is you'd have to trade Mahomes to Notre Dame. So now it's that, but you don't see too many trades in the NFL. And I like that much better than this baseball bullshit where you trade them. All right. Off and running. Okay. Night games tonight. So no worry. Baltimore 146-9. Now Baltimore lost their catcher to Boston. So here's where it gets tough. Most of this is bullshit. This whole trade deadline, because you're really not. There's not a big impact. Okay, Boston did pick up a very good catcher. The Dodgers got. I was going to say Verlander. They got Skubal, which will play Skubal the same way. And Casey Mize goes to San Diego, will play the same way when Casey Mize pitches. Very little other traffic except for minor leaguers or guys we've never heard of. All right. Rodriguez, 7.98 goes against pitcher to be determined, and yet Baltimore is a 146-9. I can't play it because I don't have a pitcher for Baltimore, so I don't know what I'm getting. The Mets in Cleveland. Cleveland 147-9. Sean Manaea 394 goes against Cantillo 390. Let's see what the fuck we got here. Man, Manaea 2-4 his last 6. And his last 6, 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 6 runs, 7 innings, 3 runs, 4 innings, 4, 6 innings, 1, 6 innings, 2. So we had the 6 run and the 4 run. His last 2 were 1-2. So it could be anywhere. He did lose to Philly 6-1. He lost to the Dodgers 4-2. Beat Philly 6-4 earlier. So I don't know. The Mets, they're struggling. They can't hit. Cantillo from Hawaii. Friends of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, more undoubtedly. 3-3 his last 6. 2 runs, 1, 4, 5, and 0. So, and not a lot of innings. So I can't play this game. I don't know. My guess would be over, but it's hard to play Cleveland. They got the lead. They have the big bullpen, and they shut you down. So you don't get those late runs like the Tigers give up. Oakland at Cincinnati. Cincy 130-9. Oakland did travel because they played the Tigers at home. Ginn 3-3-5 against Brady Singer 4-3-7. Or Jen, my mistake. Jen had that almost no hitter. Went to Old Mississippi State. I guess Old Miss didn't want him. He's 3-2 his last 5. 4 runs, 3 runs, 1, 2, an 8, and a 0. The Gin Man. Seems like he goes 4 innings once in a while. He's okay, and he goes 6. Brady Singer. What do we got here? From Florida. He's 2-5 his last. No, 2-4 his last 6. 5 runs, 3 runs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This guy gets hit early and often. Oakland, I don't know what happened to their hitting. They did hit the ball a lot, and then lately, the Tigers beat them like 11-0, and you're just like, what the fuck? They're playing really bad ball. Cincinnati, 53-58, not very good. I got to pass on this one. I don't like Brady Singer. Jen, I thought was going to be good. had the no-hitter, and then that was it. Here we go. All right, here's your free play. Washington at Philly. You're taking Philly, 3 units. Jesus is going for Philly today, 359 against Zach Littell, 618. The Zacher, this guy's lost 5 in a row. 211-810, and he lost 5 in a row. All right. Jesus, he was 2, 4, 6. He won 8 in a row and lost his last 2. So he's 8-2. So we're going Philadelphia all the way. I love Philly anyway, but when either Sanchez, Wheeler, or Jesus is on the mound, we bet them. All right, take Philly, free play. 640 tonight. They are 273-9, so it's a big number. But as I say, we don't care if we win the 100. What's the difference if I lay 110, 150, 200 to get our 100? It's just the nature of the game. Here is a money line. In football, it's all we're playing points. St. Louis at the Yankees. The Yankees 194, 8.5. St. Louis beat them 13-7 yesterday. Dobbins 426 for St. Louis. Carl Weathers 399 for the Yankees. Hunter Dobbins, Texas Tech. Maybe he was there with Mahomes. He's since June 5th. Well, I can go the whole way. He's 4-3. He's only pitched in 7 games this year. He didn't start till April 30th, May, June. Yeah, and he's been fine since. In his 7 games, 3 runs, 1-0, 3-3, 0-4. So he doesn't give up a lot of runs. Carl Weathers from Loretto, Tennessee. So he must have went to high school there because he has no college listed. He's 3-3 his last 6. 5 runs, 4 runs, 1, 5, 1, and a 0. So capable of either side of the spectrum. Not on a streak. I don't like that St. Louis beat him yesterday. Total on the game's 8.5. I like that. All right. The White Sox and the Red Sox. The Red Sox were yellow and the White Sox were black or green. I guess they don't understand the colors. Boston 127-9. Dean Martin going for the White Sox 362. Sandoval 332 for Boston. What do we do here? Dean Martin's been not pitching very well lately. He went on a 4-game losing streak, and he did win. He beat the Yankees 6-5 last time. So he's 1-4 his last 5. He's kind of gotten tired, I think. His last 6 shutout, 2-5-1, 4-4. He will give up a lot of runs to Boston. Now they got the new catcher who I've never heard of. We'll see about that. Sandoval has won all 4 games he's pitched. Came in July 9th. And 1 run, 5 runs, 0 and 2, 4 and 5 innings. So I don't know. Dean Martin gives up runs. Sandoval's only pitched in 4. I'm going to pass on this game, but I kind of like Boston because Dean Martin has not looked good. He's in a slump. Okay. He's young. Okay. So we'll just watch. Miami and Atlanta. Atlanta 142-9. We got Gusto 590 for Miami. He sucks against Grant Holmes 404 for Atlanta, and he sucks. And I know they picked up Grant Holmes from somebody. Don't really care. Brian Gusto, what a pig. He's 1-5 his last 6. He only goes 2 and 3 innings. 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, and 6 runs, and it's 2 and 3 innings. I think he was a bullpen guy who's starting to go. He sucks. Grant Holmes, are you any good? Um, no, he's with Atlanta, so he stayed in Atlanta. Must be somebody else. He's won his last five, and he goes 5 innings, and he's gone shutout 2, shutout 3, 3, and 3. He will give up a little runs. Miami doesn't hit well. Gusto. All right. Minnesota KC. Joe Ryan, the ace on Minnesota against KC. Dobnik looks like a reliever with a .56 ERA. Minnesota's 140-9. Joey Ryan. He's 2-4 his last 6. Not really well. 4 runs, 6 runs, 0, 2, 8, and 4. So he's playing like a pig. Could be an over. Dobnik. Who the fuck is this guy? From South Park, Pennsylvania. One of the South Park kids. 2-3. He's pitched 5 games. 2 runs, 0, 1, 0, 0. He looks pretty good. 5 innings, 7 innings. He's gone 100 pitches. His last game was 7 innings, 4 hit shutout. So he's capable of it. He came from Minnesota, and he's mostly a bullpen guy, but he used to start. 24, 25, bullpen guy, 5.59 ERA, 1.69, 7 ERA, a 4 ERA. This guy really stinks. He's just having a good first he's played 5 games. Joe Ryan's not pitching well. Hard to go over 9 with Kansas City, and you just don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to pass that game up. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, very good. We got Jones against Henderson. Milwaukee 144, 7.5. Jared Jones, related to January Jones, I'm sure. His last 1, 2, 3, he's 3-4 his last 7. 5 unders in a row. Last 6 games, 4 runs, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 3. Henderson, out of the community college of McLennan. Big community college down there. This guy's red hot. He's they're 2, 4, 6, 7-0 his last 7. And he is a starter. 1 run, shutout 3, 1, 2, and 0. Hard to shut down Pittsburgh. Now the question is Jones. Let's revisit Jones. 4-1-0-1-1-3. Could be an under game, but I'm not betting Pittsburgh under, which leaves us, let's go that way. All right. The Dodgers at the Cubbies. And we got Screwball, right? They don't waste any time. Well, actually, he got there Saturday night. He was introducing him, so I was watching the game. Not for Screwball, but he was. In the middle of the game, he's in the dugout saying, introducing himself. Yeah, who cares? Screwball with his 2.81 ERA. Again, he goes 5 innings against Assad, who's really good, 3.52. The Dodgers 204 and 185. Okay, I know what I'm doing here. Assad is very good pitcher. He's 8-1 his last 9, folks. 4 runs shutout, 2-1, 0-1. Some of them seem to have been bullpen days. His last game was 4 innings, and he went 83 pitches, and they beat St. Louis 4-2. Schoolball. Yeah, you're getting half a game with them. Nothing like a good nectarine. All right. I'm not taking Schoolball. I'm not. I'm playing the total. Um, Texas 192-8. Tidwell against Mackenzie Gore. Tidwell is a 0, and the titter. I hate when this thing locks up on me. I'm waiting for the answer of let's look at Mackenzie Gore. It happened yesterday too. Did pop back. Let's see if there's any we can just see. Houston, Toronto, Yashevitz against Wisniewski. Don't know. Peralta goes to Tampa against Grant. Okay, Mackenzie Gore came up. He's on. He's now on Texas wearing a Washington hat. He's 3-3 his last 6. 5 runs, 7, 1, 5, 3, and 3. He's a real pig to score. Tidwell is probably, he's a 0. He's probably a bullpen guy. And that's locked up again. This page isn't working. All right. So we'll have to take a pass on it. I think I like the game this way. All right. Toronto and Houston. Yashevitz against Wisniewski. Houston 125, 8.5. Yashevitz is lousy for Toronto. I don't know who Wisniewski is. And covers. Oh, okay, came up. All right. Yashevitz, and he's 1-4 his last 5. Last 6 games, 1 run, 3, 4, 3, 3, and a 1. Pretty bad. Wisniewski. Hayden Wisniewski went to Sam Houston. They suck in football. And he's pitched July 29th. Or maybe not. His game log. They beat California 7-4. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, 79 pitches, 2 walks. He has played for the Cubs and Houston, so it's not like he's new. 2.18 ERA in the Cubs, and then 4.63, 3.86, 4.50, and he's mostly kind of a starter and a bullpen. This year he's got a 4.76 ERA. It says 5.40. Could be runs in this game, but I'm going to watch. Tampa Bay, Colorado. Peralta against Grant Hughes. Tampa 162 and another 11 with Colorado. And Peralta just blows. 5 ERA. He's 2-3, 2-4 his last 6. And 3 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 7 runs, 3 runs. Colorado's going to score. Let's see how bad this Hughes is. Gabriel Hughes from Gonzaga. He should have been playing basketball there. 1-4 his last 5. And it was a 3 inning shutout. Then he went 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 3 runs. Tampa. Yeah, let's play this. So let me give you this one. Colorado over 11. Don't love it, but what the fuck? All right. San Diego goes to Arizona. Vasquez against E. Rodriguez. Arizona's a 114 favorite and a total of 9. Randy Vasquez from the Dominican Republic is 2-5 his last 7. A lot of overs. And he only goes 3 innings. This guy's got scuba-litis, I guess. 7 runs. So that's why 7 runs, 4 runs, shutout, 2 runs, 1 run, and shutout in 4 innings when he went 65 pitches. So this guy more than likely stinks. E. Rodriguez, Eduardo from Venezuela. Wow, he's 8-1 his last 9. 2-4-6, 1 run, 2-2, 5-2-0. Yeah, okay, let's go with Arizona here. This guy pitches very well, and Vasquez not so well. All right, so that's your third. That's why I like to be careful on your free picks. I don't want to give you a free pick, and then I see something like that, and I don't give it to you. All right, Detroit goes to Seattle. Pitcher to be determined because they've all been traded away. Going against John Hancock for Seattle. Seattle's 127.5. See, Detroit beats Oakland, and everybody, Detroit can make the playoffs. Yeah, they beat the worst team in the league with the worst pitching staff, and they're trying to say how good some of these new players are. They played a minor league pitching staff. Whippy. Let's see him against John Hancock today with a 3.27. So I can't play the game without knowing the pitcher. And that's it. All right, so we're taking Philly. Jesus is going tonight. I wonder if he goes to the Notre Dame games when he's not pitching. Philly, 3 units. Take Colorado over 11, 2 units. And take Arizona, good pitcher, going for 2 units. And that be baseball. I want to show you just a few minutes of Mark McGwire in review.
While the burgers cook, what's everybody paying on home insurance?
4-bed single family. Me and my wife were at $2,100. Now we're at $600 a year. I swore it was fake.
3-bed ranch, $530 a year.
Build out of national resilience.
Okay, this is going to be a few minutes of Mark, just to recap that $12,000, $10,000 gold up to $50,000 and what's going on. I just wanted to do that. See, here's one. I don't know who this guy is. Pillars Gold, NASDAQ listing by year end. I wouldn't watch this if somebody paid me to watch it. We don't know who this guy is. We don't want to be in stocks. And this is what I fear some people get into. They watch this idiot. They don't know anything about him. NASDAQ by year end, the grades, gold mining come back 80,000 per ounce year. I mean, this guy's clue. I mean, he doesn't, there's no fucking way. We don't know to make these assumptions. We know it's going up. We don't know when, but why would we want to be in stock? If gold is going to 80,000, I'd want to be in gold. I don't want to be in stock. The mentality of the people is to play stocks instead of buying the physical metal. And I think that's the problem. Although when we look at China and Russia and all the central banks, they are buying physical gold. They're not buying stocks as what they should be. So keep that in mind. All right, a few minutes of Mark McGuire.
Obviously, this is a perfect gaming day for the paper markets. Now, with current estimates, I mean, revaluation, where is it? I mean, current estimates actually vary between 10 and 50,000, depending on, and credible people, talking about between 10 and 50. More immediately, at a minimum, based on an upswell of delivery demands and tightening supply at current prices, liquidity providers have raised their minimum estimation to 8 to 10,000 range. And once revalued, and that's just the initial stage, and whether that gets done over a weekend is open to debate, possibly. But once revalued, as gold strengthens the asset side of sovereign balance sheet, it gives the Fed a powerful incentive to align with other central banks, including the PBOC, in managing a controlled upward gold price adjustment. And to provide sufficient liquidity, gold would have to be revalued significantly higher than in the 4,000 range where it is today. I mean, if you divide the 40 trillion, or close to 40 trillion of US Treasury debt, and you get $150,000 an ounce. However, the mid-band of the 10 to 50K estimates, which are coming from a range of liquidity providers and well hooked up people, the mid-range is a more realistic $30,000. And this revaluation process has begun. Now, this Financial Times piece.
All right, so 8 to 10 short term, about 30 to 50 as it's developing. And he says it's already in process. Why do we see 4,100 today? It's in process because there's COMEX is it's a bunch. It's like Scuba running COMEX. It's like you got crybabies and they don't want to give up what they're doing, even though they don't have the physical gold to do it. The U.S. has zero gold. The gold in Fort Knox is China's. It's rehypothecated, which means we've rented it or sold it to China. They own it. It might be in our vault, but they own it. And that's the point. So we're looking at $30,000 to $50,000 gold, and not in the long run, but soon. But real soon, we're looking them to reprice it at $8,000 to $10,000, $12,000, 8 to 10 or 12. That's what we're more realistically looking at. So the 4,000 you see is total bullshit paper with 4 million tons instead of 200,000 tons. So that's where you're getting the price differentiation is we're looking at the short supply because our whole thesis is low supply, high demand, high price. So how are we getting this low price of 4,000? Because the supply is high, even though it's not real. So again, as I use this example, I have one of these cards, but I'm going to sell 100 of them. How the hell am I going to sell 100? Well, people won't ask for delivery. They'll just say, I got the card and it'll get traded. So I don't have to actually give you the card. I just say, now you own it with 50 other people, but I only have one of them. Then they start asking for delivery and I get 10 people to say, I want the card. I'm fucked. I only have one. How about if I give you the money instead of the card? No, I want the card. And that's what COMEX is. COMEX is just a game where they just hey, I got all these I got 4 million tons of gold. And in reality, they have 200,000. And in that reality, BRICS has probably 3/4 of it. So how much actually do they have to give you? None. Very, very little. Oh, I can go to the gold store and I can buy one for 4,000 because he's an idiot selling it at 4,000. If I was a gold store, I would be grabbing the gold and putting it in my safe, and I would never sell it at 4,000. I would wait for the 10,000 and then I might start selling, which is kind of what I've done. I bought all of it at 1,700, 2,000, and just bought a shitload. And now I'm just kind of going, well, I don't want to sell it. I want to wait till 10 or 15. So Alyssa always goes to me, well, at what point are you going to sell it? I says, the problem is if I do sell it at 10,000, I'm back in the monopoly money, which I don't want to be. So the goal really isn't to sell it at 10. It's nice to have the value 10. And if I need to sell an ounce, I get 10 instead of 4. But it's just we make money on it. And what am I selling it for? I don't want to sell it. I don't want to get back into this. I don't want to get into euros. I don't want to get into, So we're really not looking to sell it, but we do want our fair value. And our value is not fair at 4. And I doubt it's fair at 10. Probably that 30,000 is probably the fair value for it. But it's like owning, it's like owning the Mantle card. When are you going to sell it? Well, I bought it for maybe $100. Well, if it's a 9, now it's graded. If it's a 9, now it's worth 20,000. Oh, okay. Are you going to sell it then? No. It's nice that it's got the value that it has, but only way I would sell it is if I was going to go buy, 6, 7 ounces of gold with it. Then I would sell it based on the gold going up. So what do you want more, the card or the money? What do I want more, the gold or the money? At this point, I want the gold more than the money. But that's what ETFs do. They have one card and they try to sell 100 of them. And it's okay until somebody asks for it. Yeah, I really want that Mantle card now. Sorry, I don't have it. That's how they are in gold. They don't have it. So Mark's with his reliable sources, and he did tell us about BRICS, and he has been right on more than he's been wrong. He just has a hard time explaining it. So that's what I want you to focus on. We're looking at 8 to 10 grand soon, and they've already started doing this revaluation. And the U.S. has to. It's on their books at $40. If you really have 8,000 tons, which the odds on you having that are 0, you would want that price to go up, and you could, even if you don't want to pay the debt off with it, you can use it just to help you. So that doesn't make sense. All right, a little bit more, Mark.
Highlights how global central banks have lost trust in storing their physical gold in New York or London, and following the past 4 months of geopolitical uncertainty, they're accelerating efforts to repatriate sovereign assets. And with gold now having overtaken US Treasuries as the top reserve asset, as trust in dollar-based systems weakens, the shift confirms that gold is being treated as a strategic sovereign asset, not just a reserve holding. Now, this structural revaluation.
So the idea is, there's huge demand for gold. That's what you just said. All the central banks, they have more gold now than they do treasuries. No demand for treasuries. Nobody wants them. But yet all the central banks are buying gold. They're getting out of dollars to buy gold. So what is your thought? Why would you even think about it? Well, if the central banks are doing it, these are bankers. If that's what they're doing, that's what I want to be doing, even if you don't understand anything. Although with me teaching you, you understand everything. So all that tells us is there's huge demand for gold. And they're getting out of dollars because they don't see the value in it. So why do I want to hold dollars? Everybody's saying they're losing value and everybody's running into gold. As I say, the ship is sinking, the Titanic. It's hit the iceberg. Get the fuck off. And when you get the fuck off, go to the lifeboat. Don't get out of the lifeboat and go back on the Titanic. That's what selling gold for dollars would be, is getting back on the Titanic. So get off. Just trust what you're seeing. Trust me. Trust yourself. Does it make sense? And stop asking the financial planners, who are morons, who are going to tell you to buy stock because it's in their best interest to get commission. if you buy stock or Attack on Wall Street guy and he buys real estate trust. Why fuck around? Because even there, you're still in the dollar. Even there, you're not. They don't want you to ever ask for the card. There's one card. They don't want you to ask for it. They just want you to just make money off the card value, but that's ETFs. Don't ask for the physical. That's COMEX. Don't ask for the physical because we don't have it. All right.
Theme dates back to 2014 when the head of the Shanghai Gold Exchange stated at an LBMA conference that gold was being consumed in the East, but still priced in the West. And that wasn't talk. It was the starting gun. China understood that the gap between the paper price and the physical value really began quietly absorbing underpriced Western benchmark gold from a market still dominated by unallocated cash-settled flows. In a clear illustration of Western market arrogance, his comments were underestimated at precisely the time that the LBMA was navigating the defensive, cartel-driven $600 sell-off that followed the Deutsche Bank 2013 delivery default, as you can see on this chart here, which was on the 1st of April. The White House orchestrated a bullion bank bailout. I remember it was a Sunday meeting. They called all the bullion banks together and they instigated a bailout prompted by the LBMA member, that was the ABN AMRO's inability to meet very similar bullion repatriation demands, cash settling client bullion accounts. That sparked a redemption request cycle that spread like wildfire across the LBMA bullion banks and extended through to the end of 2015, as you can see here on this chart.
I don't like his charts too much, but so you can see the banks manipulate everything. However, we're on the bank side. We're on the side of the manipulation. So when they're going to raise that value, we're already there waiting. We see the hole in the boat. We're on the lifeboat, and we're just waiting for the ship to sink. And everybody, well, when's it going to sink? Like, well, Tuesday at 10 o'clock at night, it's going to sink. I mean, you don't know the final time. You only know it's sinking. We only know gold's going to the moon. We don't know the exact time because we can't, because we don't know who's the player. I assume JP Morgan will be the one, the referee. No disqualification, no time limit. So that's what we know. So I wanted you to just see that, to understand that the gold should go to 8 to 10 on its way to 30 or 50. And then what's going to happen is the dollar will go out. This has zero value. In other words, yeah, you can go to Kroger's now and buy cornflakes, and it's now $5-6 a box. Eventually, what happens is you go to the grocery store and they won't take this. Hence the wheelbarrows. So what did we know with the wheelbarrows in Germany? That they would have to put all their money in a wheelbarrow to have enough money to buy milk and bread. But what they don't tell you is it's only the Reichsmark that you needed the wheelbarrow for. US dollars and gold and British pounds, you did not need the wheelbarrow for that. So when we go to the wheelbarrow here, it's only for this crap. It's not for gold and silver. So we don't need a wheelbarrow for our gold and silver. We only need the wheelbarrow for the US dollar that's worthless. So keep that in mind and understand that. So we'll have silver, we'll go to Kroger's and they'll take it and we'll be fine because Kroger's wants to get paid. And that's the key to it. So and it was only in Germany, right? It was only the Reichsmark in Germany. France, you didn't need a wheelbarrow. Amsterdam, you didn't need a wheelbarrow. England, you didn't need a wheelbarrow. And here, you didn't need a wheelbarrow. So it's only in the currency that's worthless. Now, you have quite a bit of worthless currencies. Canada, England, Euro, US, Japan, get your wheelbarrows out, but not for gold and silver. So the key is to have the have enough of non-wheelbarrow money to have. Not wheelbarrow. This will not be a wheelbarrow. You got, well, obviously this, but you got Rolexes, not in the wheelbarrow, or nice cars. You got a Van Gogh or a Picasso, not in the wheelbarrow. So a lot of the things that have value, and for us, it's going to be cards and maybe Rolexes. I don't know anybody here who has a Picasso, but if you do, congratulations. And obviously gold and silver. So you want to buy as many non-wheelbarrow items as you can, but just stick to the gold and silver in the first place. And you just walk around, and people are going, "Oh, what am I going to have to carry my gold all the way around with me?" Well, do you want to starve, or do you want to eat? How hard is it to put 2 or 3 ounces of silver in your pocket and fill your cart? How hard is that? It's going to be interesting paying your bills because the dollar won't. What are you going to pay for your mortgage and the credit cards and your car payment? If there's no dollars to pay it, what are you going to do? So we'll see what they come out with new. This whole communist thing, if we don't need money, is the biggest piece of horse shit I've ever heard. Why and how are they teaching teaching this shit in high school? Really pissed me off. This lifeguard's telling me about it, and I'm like, well, what the fuck are you even listening for? What are you learning this shit? You cannot have, oh, we won't have money. We'll just have, everybody will just make things for free, not want to make a profit on it, and we'll just go to a store and we'll just grab all the food we want, eat it. Yeah, and what world is that in? That's the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard. Well, that's perfect communism. No, all communism's the same, and it ain't perfect. And the leader, Stalin, makes all the money, and everybody else starves because nobody's making food. There's no stores to make it in except for the Stalin house. All right, I'm not going to go through any more Mark McGuire. If you want it, it's here. China lights Fort Knox gold revaluation. What he was referring to was when Bart Simpson went to Fort Knox, and he looked and he said, "Yep, it's all there. Everything. I saw all 8,000 tons, and it's there. And we got the biggest amount of gold in the world. Not only was it China's, but by the way, China's got 80,000 tons, and Russia's and India and Saudi Arabia and Dubai are probably 20, 30,000 tons. So, in what world is 8,000 more than 80,000? And in what world do you still have it? In a world where you're not checking to see if it's China's already, which it probably is. So that's what you need to understand. So we talked trade deadline. We talked the baseball trade. It's a very stupid system baseball has where the free agent dictate. You don't really see it in football, or I don't know about hockey or basketball. Mostly the players trade themselves. LeBron, I want to go here, so I'm trading myself here for this. I don't know how basketball's too stupid to follow, but for baseball, this is ridiculous. Or if this is what the game is, then the Tigers should have traded these guys so they would get a full year with the team. You can't go trade deadline and trade anybody. You're not going to get anything unless you want to clean their salaries. And that's what I believe the Tigers did. They did it with Verlander. They did it with Scherzer. They did it with JD Martinez. And they're doing the same thing here. They are doing they wait till the trade deadline and just scooball for nobody. And then they say, well, it was good. The minor leaguers will be good because one day they will be major leaguers, maybe. Well, if they're that good, why aren't they major leaguers now? Oh, well, because they're prospects and they're cheap. So you got rid of $65, $70 million that you would have had to pay next year for Casey Mize. And, so let's say 45 for Skubal and 25 for Mize. That's 70 million that you just saved. And you play this game of bullshit that, yeah, but, but we got prospects. Look how good we did with Verlander and Scherzer and Pride. Look at the prospects we got for them. Prospects are most of the minor leaguers don't do shit. I don't care if they're the top 5, 10, 20, 30 prospect in the world. They're still minor leaguers and they still suck. Because if they weren't, how long did Mickey Mantle stay in the minors? What, 2, 3 months? You got a good player. He's not sitting in the minors. Al Kaline never played a day in the minor leagues. So if you're good, you're good. And if you suck, you're in the minors. So that's that. So it's all about cost saving. If you're this stupid like the Tigers are, it's cost savings. It ain't, well, we got more prospects. Look at our farm system. It's great. Yeah, but we're in it to win the World Series or, and have a good team. And we don't. We suck. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, that this whole draft thing's bullshit. If they knew what they were doing, you didn't see the Yankees get rid of Fried or Schittler or Scanes go or Mizorowski go. Funny how they didn't get rid of their guys. So anyway, it's just these, like Chris Sale, I think he moved around. So then there's a time they move around, but you just, you see what you got. But it's a very bad system baseball has. But if the Tigers actually knew what they were doing, they would have got rid of these guys before the season. And then they could have traded and said, well, you get a whole year with them. Okay, we can do that and win the World Series for the year. But certainly not with 2 months left to get anything for them because there's no value in it. I'm not going to give you a good player for 2 months. And then, Casey Mize signs for $25 million. Now I'm stuck with it. So it makes sense for the $6 million. They probably prorate the salary for the last 2 months, I assume. But that's it. So it's a fucking game the Tigers are playing. Well, I'll give up some good players to get prospects because I don't have to pay them. And that's what they don't want to tell you. And that's how I always think. What's really going on here? Anyway, baseball today, the Phillies, Arizona, and Colorado over 11. Here's your free plays. Mark McGuire, we don't watch Pillars Gold. We don't give a fuck about this guy. See, when I see this, I can't watch it because this is this Marx guy who's a socialist and a Warren Buffett guy, and he's total full of shit. So that's why you got to be careful who you and that be it. So let's take our last look at paper gold. And paper gold. Silver's up to 60 and paper gold's 4,097. So the problem is, even if we get to 4,100, it just drops back anyway. Explain the drop at 4:00 in the morning from 40.75 down to 40.40. Why did it drop $35? This is paper contracts. So this is the same as the Mantle card. It's good until somebody asks for the physical gold. And then COMEX blows up because they don't have it. Just like, I'm going to sell 20 of these, but I only have one. So 19 people aren't getting it. And that's exactly what COMEX is. Well, I want the physical. I don't have it. So anyway, I will leave you with that. I'm going to delete that first one. See, now I didn't have any issues with the internet. So I don't know what happened in the beginning. but it happens. So I don't know. I apologize for that. Anyway, anything else? The Amazing Race, I wanted to talk real quickly about. I don't know that these people understand what they're doing. I think these people think they're playing a different game. Imagine being in a race. Let's say we're driving to Cincinnati, and the person that gets there first wins $1 million. Why are they teaming up? Let's team up and we'll race together. But the last 100 miles, I'm not gonna be your teammate anymore. This is not a team thing. This is an individual. It's an individual race, and I'm seeing it that these people, none of them have intelligence, because, well, if the three of us put our heads together, then we can figure out the clues and we can advance. But if you were really good, you would do it on your own, and then you would be way ahead because these other people don't know what the fuck they're doing. So my own intelligence, it'd be like me. Well, I won't handicap on my own. We'll get 5 handicappers and we'll figure out the games together. If I did that, I'd shoot myself. Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm doing this by myself. I'm figuring it out, and then I am moving on to the next leg. And that's what I do. Baseball and football and gold. I don't listen to anybody else. I figure it out and I do it. And if I had to contact 5 guys on football betting, I couldn't do it because I can't listen to idiots, and I know I'm way ahead of them. So I can't do that. So I just watched The Amazing Race, and these guys who are, well, let's form an alliance. Let's all 5 of us do this. And A, you have to trust that the 5 are going to do what they say. And then B, you have to hope that they're smart enough to know what the fuck to do. And I just watched one episode or one season, and these guys that should never have been in the final 5 won the race because this other team waited for them. What happened is they missed their flight. It was delayed in Amsterdam or something, and they were going to Russia, my favorite. I went to Moscow, and these people thought, well, we lost. It's me and you, and everybody else is ahead of us. Only they weren't. One team lost their passport, they had to drop out. And so instead of being closer, they wasted 4 hours. And then with the team, so instead, they should have been way ahead. They waited for the team, and then the team eventually won the race, had no business being in the race. What were you thinking? It's a race. Well, it's like, well, I'm going to drive to Cincinnati. I'm going to stop for lunch, for 3 hours to let everybody catch me. That's how stupid it is. So these guys, there's no more really smart people. They're all a bunch of, they have to work as a team. And I blame that on school, where it's become very socialist to work in teams. There's no individual. There's no critical thinking, none of that, where you figure it out on your own. People aren't smart enough, and they're too scared to figure it out on their own. So people basically want to feel better, with the other people. And that's terrible. It's not the way it should be. You should be independent and try to figure it out and figure it out and then go from there. Well, I got to figure it out, but then I get the reward. But if I got to wait for somebody in a race, I'm missing the point of being first in the race. And it cost this other couple was a good team, probably would have won, but since they were so well, it feels good and this and that. And they were, they were there. You've got to be kidding me. They got bamboozled at somebody did a U-turn. They made them do two tasks and they couldn't, and the other team actually beat them. And had they not waited the 4 hours, they would have um, won. They would have been farther ahead. And this other team was doing three. They were like three teams together, and they all lost because this is not a team game. This is individuals. If you're running, if you're playing baseball, you don't wait for the other teams. If you're running track, yeah, well, we're running the 100. Yeah, but I'm going to wait for the other guys. And then he beats you, and you're like, no. So I see too much of this crap, this team stuff, and I'm like, you're not in a team game. You're in an individual game. And I'm getting tired of like some legs are not elimination rate. Well, they lost. They should be out. So there's a couple of legs where they don't eliminate people, and it gets on my nerves because the team lost should be out if the game you're playing is that. You can't say, well, I don't mean it. Then have a double leg or don't have an elimination end of the first leg if it's not an elimination rate. So really stupid. But anyway, it was good to see Moscow. This is back when there was no war. Otherwise, I think that's about it. So I did want to point that out. Do not, get advice, but don't have to rely on other people or a team unless you're coming to me like a professor. Hey, can you help me on the gold or star? Or what do you think of this trade or that? But you don't get in a team. It's crazy. And you really don't care about other people's opinions. I can't even listen to talk radio anymore, the sports radio. Joe Bob from Detroit calls in. I don't give a fuck what Joe Bob says. I have no interest in Joe Bob's opinion. He's not even the host, right? It's Joe Bob from Detroit. I don't give a fuck what he says. I don't give a fuck what the announcers. There's one guy who thinks he's Mr. Cool, I guess, and he's like, well, I won't get mad at you for saying that. And the whole, and it's like, I don't really give a fuck what you think or what you care. Why do I care what you say? I only care what I say, or I care what you guys say enough to respond and try to help you. But I don't care what Joe Bob from Detroit thinks about the Scooble trade. I'm sure they'll be talking about that all day, or the Casey Mize for nothing trade, or how stupid the Tigers. I know my opinion. The Tigers GM is either an idiot or it's the owner saying, keep my salaries down, which is what I think it is. And so he doesn't make trades for big players because then he'd have a big salary. So he takes the prospects because they're not even $1 million a piece. So that's what the GM's doing, is what he's told to do. The owner only cares about is making money and not winning. And that's what you got to understand. That's what's happening. All right. Anything else? So maybe we'll do some college football tomorrow. Just check the lines over and stuff. But I'm pretty much done. The site's all set. Passwords have been changed. All the prices are up there. Nothing's really changed from last year. We have massive inflation here. I'm not going to raise prices. I love when people think it's prices. Oh yeah, it's prices going up. That's inflation. No, that's prices going up. That's a lot of it is because the value of the dollars collapsed. So they need to charge more dollars to get the same amount. That's more what it is than prices going up. But anyway, all right. I think that's it. I'm hungry. Time to eat, even though I kind of have my avocado and it's not enough. And that's it. So it's 1:30. I usually go to swim about 3:30. Yesterday was a good day. I did my laundry, then went to the lake and walked the lake. It was a nice day, but got a little hot out. But anyway, that's it. So today's just swim. And I do have to go to the grocery store. I need my pita breads. that they seem to have at Myers and not the others. All right. Have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Enjoy and happy August.